We did it.
We're back.
We are back. We're back in
baby.
the mix. And
Love you.
do you know what? I'm proud of us. I'm very proud of us. We completed the Christmas season.
Yes.
New Year, came into New Year strong after doing what? I did 61 shows.
61 shows.
Completed my panto, Coventry.
Yeah.
We made it.
We made it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and then had an incredible Christmas.
Christmas
Day was special.
It was so special to
Yeah.
have the family all over.
Yeah.
Over to our house.
Yeah.
I had one day.
Yeah, we picked you up on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We got home about 9 on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Then we had Christmas Day with the family.
Yeah.
We had 15 over.
Yes.
Shout out to cousin Lou for some incredible games.
Yeah, she did. She did some great
incredible
games.
But yeah, parents were there.
Yeah.
Heaven loved it.
We did our little epic Christmas video, which was like a nice dance.
Yes.
That we did to camera. My brother chose the tune.
Song. Yeah, it was Dennis Brown. Love Has Found Its Way.
Yes.
That was really special.
Yeah.
And then we shot off to Coventry on Boxing Day because you had to go back.
I mean, if that wasn't a wake up call, I think we were up at 6, 7, and then we left for about 8, 9 o'clock.
On Boxing Day.
On Boxing Day,
You were on
drove up
stage
to Coventry.
by 2?
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
2.
My first show was at 2 o'clock. But the reason why I say I'm proud of us is it was a big stint. I started rehearsals, if you remember, end of October, and ran all the way through to Jan 3rd. And I think the last time we spoke, we were saying, how are we going to make it work? How is it going to work? So I'm proud of us that we got to the end. I didn't miss a show.
No.
I didn't miss
but
a
this is like
performance.
your 5th year of doing Panto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
5th
so.
year. So we've gotten into the swing of it now.
Yeah.
But it's still a massive commitment.
It definitely is. I think it helped that Coventry was... What? It was an
hour and a half from
an hour and a
Euston.
half from no, an hour from Euston. If you got the
Euston.
quick train.
Yeah. So
But
it wasn't too bad.
I still had to get another hour's train home if I wanted to do it. And sometimes I couldn't. But
Team Harriet.
we did it.
So 2026.
Yes.
And we are back in. And it just feels nice. It just feels nice to just be able to share more.
Definitely.
But sorry, baby.
Go on, no, go ahead.
No, because we were coming down and we were thinking today about our, just the idea of what we wanted to share today.
Yeah.
And you go. I want you to lead on this one.
So there are so many topics that we can cover.
Yeah.
And one of them for me is, how do you show your husband, your wife, your partner, your significant other?
Yep.
And even if you're not with somebody, if you're single, fabulous and single, how do you show them that you love them?
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Even when I say that, how do you?
Well, it's interesting because it's about how they want to be loved, as opposed to how you think they want to be loved.
Yeah, which nicely leads into love languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you show that you love somebody? How do I show that I love you? And let's be really clear, I don't get it right all the time.
Who does?
And you pull me up on it, and
I do.
yeah, for sure, because it's learning, right?
Yeah, we're always learning.
still
We've always
learning.
said that. Yeah. Even after 21 years, people might think, oh, you've got it rehearsed, you've got it down pat, but you don't, because you're always learning.
you're still
because
learning.
time changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think how you show somebody, how I show you that I love you is by listening to the things that you want and the things that you need.
True. Do you think you listen all the time?
No. I definitely don't. I try, and then there are times where you'll say to me, "You're not listening.
No.
You're talking."
Do you know
over."
why, though? I would
Yeah.
say, like, we can touch on this as well. I think because naturally, you are definitely a person that likes to fix things. So that's where we would meet up when I say to you,
Yeah.
but are you listening? Because
Yes.
you like to fix things.
Yeah.
So you will hear me talking and it
Yeah.
becomes like white noise, because the first part of the conversation is, okay, she's telling me something, but how can I make
I want
it
to
better
resolve
for her?
it, yeah. And we've seen this over the years, and I've seen other couples talk about this,
Yeah.
and I know that that's just something
It's normal.
sometimes, that men and women can do differently.
Yeah.
But I'm learning, and there's times I get it perfect, right? Where I just sit down and I just say, don't say anything. Don't fix it.
It's not saying anything.
No, but it's just let the person say what's going on.
Yeah.
And be the kind of the container for their feelings, their
And emotions. Yeah, because I'm not an emotional person at all.
No, of course not. No.
So
Just be the container for their feelings and their emotions. And then
Yeah.
at the end, when they've got through it all, it might be the next day, then say, well, let's think about how we're going to do this. But sometimes you can start talking. I'm like, yeah, but what about, we could do this. We could do,
Yeah,
but I haven't
and
even got
that's-
my emotions out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I understand.
that can be difficult. But I feel that we're a work in progress with that on both sides.
Yeah.
Whereas I find with myself, with you, I have a lot of foresight before. I kind of see things black and white as it is what it is straight away, quite immediate, I would say. Whereas you will process it differently to me.
Totally.
So I find with myself, I'll say like, Dre, that isn't for you, or I don't think that that's right because of X, Y, and Z, because I've seen it.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, yeah, but you know, what
Let
about
me-
this?
yeah,
And
absolutely,
Because I think sometimes you can think, oh, Wendy, you're a bit too final.
Yeah.
But I found that sometimes it will go round the houses
And then come
and
back.
then come back to what I saw immediately. But I have to learn now that you need that time to process, whereas I sometimes see it quicker.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or so this is us talking about how do you let somebody know that you love them? And one there is giving me space to process it the way I need to.
Yeah.
And then when I come back round, you're not like, I told you so.
No.
You're like, I know you just
That
needed
isn't
that
love,
space.
because you don't want to rub someone's face in it, because then you're not learning. It becomes tit for tat.
Yeah. But then the other side is when you want to share what's going on, is being there, being a receptor and going, just listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because as well, as my husband, I want to be able to tell you everything unfiltered. I want to give you the height of my emotions, and I want you to just hear me out and let me say it. And then obviously once I've come down from here, from 100, then at low level, I can be like, okay, that's a bit out there.
Yeah.
But then bring it down to, you know, it's right. So what's really going on
That's
here?
definitely out there. I'm like, why are we here? But it's part of your process, right?
Yeah, that's how I process
That's how
it.
you
Yeah, I've got to let it all out, and then.
So how do you show the person that you love them? Is not the person, me, you and I. How do we show each other that we love each other? So it's the listening. It's giving
listening
space
is
to
one of them.
process. What else?
I think
what else do we do?
Really understanding their values and understanding about your individuality within a relationship. Because sometimes I think their confusion can happen. People get married, they become one, but then they forget themselves, if that makes sense. So, pardon the phrase, but two become one, right? But you must remember that before you became that one unit, you were individuals. And I think your individual characteristics and personality is what makes your relationship work to become the one. So you still have, you know, things that you like, the way that you like doing things, but you adapt as you become into that union together. But it's okay to still like doing things the way that you like to do it. Or I'm a person where we've covered this before in terms of when we've just spoken, shopping. I'm not really that type of girl that, like, you know, I need to shop and I need to be getting this and going there. I do like to think, oh, I need to get something from the shops, so I'll go. But then I also have the side that's like, but I want him to be with me. And we went through a phase where you're opening your eyes. We went through a phase where you were like, I don't like the shops.
No,
I'm not
but
coming.
I mean, so interestingly, again, how do you show somebody that you love them? It's me coming round and saying to you, I'm going to start coming shopping with you. Because you and Heaven Heaven would say, Daddy, why don't you come with us?
Yeah, because you were so adamant, as in I'm not coming.
Yeah, and you would say, why don't you come with me? Now, what had happened for many, many years, I had come shopping and I really started to dislike it. I don't like sitting on the chair with the other husbands. I've told you this. And we're all looking at each other like, we saying, bro, you good? Yeah, I'm doing that kind of day. And I don't like, you know, going into various shops. And your auntie was ribbing me about this. Your auntie was saying, yeah, we're allowed to go in and pick things up and put it down or try it on and then leave, right? And it just did my head in because you know how I shop. I've identified the shop I'm going to before I leave the house.
Yeah, but
I go to that shop.
Yeah.
I try on that item. And then I bounce, right?
Very true.
And
but you've got better. So in answer to that question, it's compromise.
So I've realised that you, as my wife and my daughter, part of me showing how I love you, is to shut up and go and shop. And when I say shut up, I'm saying for me,
compromise.
It is a compromise, but no, it's a compromise. But for me, I have to just shut up and deal with it because you're getting more out of me being there than just me coming along for the shop, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you want to turn around and see me there.
Yeah, I do.
And
we both do.
I know.
Yeah.
And I find it hard.
Yeah, I know. But then a compromise for me, for example, again, on the same question, is you like to watch back-to-back films. I don't enjoy TV like that.
No.
And you would sit there.
Particular films, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same type of films.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'd be like, oh, baby, sit with me. Like, and I think I couldn't think of anything worse
No.
right at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to be with you, but because I've seen these types of films, because it's always similar genre,
Yeah.
similar
Thing.
yes, similar
I
thing
know.
going on. So the compromise is, I don't really want to be here,
Yeah.
but I know he wants me to be here.
So you're loving me
Yeah,
in a way, in a way that I want to be loved in that moment.
Yeah, because you want my
You'll
time
be
in
with
that
me.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's perfect is we'll start the film and you'll be with me, and then a device will come up, and then some scrolling.
Listen,
will
if you're not
happen.
scrolling when you're watching a film, I don't know what you're doing.
And then after you scroll, then I'll turn around and you've got the blanket and you're fast asleep, and I'll be like, "This is great." But at least you're there with me.
Should we talk about, do you not do that to me, though? As soon as I
because
watch anything of our choice,
The films
you're
that
gone.
you and Heaven choose sometimes
Yeah.
can be a bit difficult to keep my attention.
But something that's funny about that is the compromise for you will be, I find when you're watching a film with us, for example, is you will talk from the beginning of what we're watching to the point of where you drive us crazy, and then we say
you that the other night.
I did. I had to say to you, you need to go.
Yeah, no, you did. Yeah,
because
I will.
You just ask every single question under the sun.
Because I want to know about the characters. I'm trying to understand what's going on here. And
yeah, but it's irritating when you're chilling.
I know, but not actually. I don't. It's not asking about the characters so
No.
much. It's I'll just ask you a question about something. But yeah, so
And then you pause it. That's your.
oh yeah. No, hold on. Let me pause. Let me just ask you lot something. Yeah, and you both look at me like.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because that's our chill time. But we wouldn't do that to your film. We just have to get with it and learn the characters.
So these
as
are
it is.
these are the ways that we
there's
show
some of
each
them.
other. Some of the ways that we show each other that we love each other. What's other ways? And you were talking.
So you've
about
got listening, compromise. That's fine with us. Other ways is really understanding how you work as an individual. Like, what works for her? Why is she so particular in the way that she does things there? But rather than picking those things apart, just appreciating them and being that's what she does. That's how she is. I'm talking about you to me. Like, in a home space, for example, I can make something out of nothing. And by that, I mean dressing a room and using what you've got, and it'll be the colours or the cushions or the rugs and I'll dress it up.
See it.
You can't see it, whereas I will see it and be like, oh my God, right, we're going to turn it into this, we're going to move the table there, we're going to put this there, we're going to add the plants, that's something that is me, and you will give me the space to, do you know what, baby, you do that.
Yeah. Because at the end of it, I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like we had this on Christmas Day, where you were in pantomime on Christmas Eve, and myself and Heaven were putting the house together for everyone who was coming on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And the last thing I said to her was, Mama's going to come and put her magic on her sparkle, because we've moved everything.
Yeah.
We got the table set, we're good. But I knew once you came home on Christmas Eve, just for a couple of hours, the sparkle would be there. And that's what you're excellent at.
Yeah.
It's seeing.
Thank you.
No, for sure. But it's seeing the home and saying,
It's that vision.
It's like when you pick up paintbrushes. Oh God.
See, I love painting.
I know you do.
Yeah, I love painting. And you'll always question me. You'll be like, baby, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?
Sure?
Or what about? And I'll be like, no, as soon as
I'm going to do the whole room, and then I'm going to do the whole hallway. And I'm like, what now? Yeah. And then it's done, and it's amazing. But for me, for me, I'm not really too interested in the painting.
No, that's not your.
I come into it.
Yeah, but there's other things that you're.
Of course.
There's other strengths that you have, and I love you in that way. Like first thing in the morning, your thing is always like, what are we eating? What's happening? What's food?
When I get up, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m, 5 a.m, but that's your thing. You like to make sure that we're fed, we're watered, and that we're looked after.
Yeah, so 9 at night, 10 at night, I have to make sure something's out of the freezer.
Yeah.
So we're good for tomorrow. And I know some of that stuff comes from just my home and how I was raised as a child. But
Same.
I'm always thinking about those, even when we go on holiday.
Oh my.
And we went on holiday and I'm like, right, let's do breakfast.
Yeah.
And just think about lunch.
Yeah.
And then we know about dinner. And then we can fit our activities around that.
Yeah.
Whereas
always food.
Yeah, you and Heaven are like, no, activities, and we'll just pick something up on the way.
Yeah, and you're like, no,
food activities.
No, definitely. Well, obviously there's loads of more things, and people would discuss it within their relationships as well. But love languages has been a massive and fundamental part of our marriage.
I feel like somebody gave us the book around our love languages.
Yeah.
And that was quite transformational.
It was majorly transformational because, like, for those that don't know, love languages are, let me list them correctly here, acts of service, quality time, receiving of gifts, affirmation, and physical touch.
Wow.
And for those who don't really know about love languages, it's the way that your partner wants to be loved. So when you there's like a little test, or I would say, or little quiz you can do, and you'll be asked certain questions, and how you react to these questions. There are 2 primary love languages that pop up out of the 5.
Yes.
And that is how you like to be loved. So to make it even clearer, for example, out of those 5 love languages, my 2 that are primary are at quality time and physical touch.
Yes.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter in which order, that's how I feel most loved by you.
Yeah, that's how you like to be
That's
loved.
how I like to be loved by you. So say, for example, and yours is acts of service.
Oh, you're going to tell me what mine are?
Okay, go on then.
It's fine.
I know what yours are.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you
go
tell
on.
me. You tell me.
Acts of service, I feel.
Yeah.
And affirmation, actually.
Affirmation?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's how, I think, more than you realise with affirmation. But tell me, how do you like to be loved
So
by
it's
me?
acts of service, quality time, affirmation, physical touch, and
Receiving of gifts.
Receiving of gifts.
Yeah.
I think mine is...
How do you like to be loved?
Yeah, definitely
first?
acts of service.
Yeah.
And it's between affirmation and receiving of gifts. And gifts is not presents.
No.
Gifts is surprises and things that just happen that you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
That I hadn't thought of. So.
And that can be hard with you because you are very... I think you're between the 2 of us. You're the best gift giver. You think of things that that would blow my mind. I wouldn't necessarily think of those things for you because you're quite equipped with everything. If you want something, you'll get it. You're that person.
Yeah, but also in terms of how do you love somebody, I listen to what you're saying throughout the year.
Yeah, you do.
Understand?
Yeah.
So,
but even if you're listening, you still take it 10 notches higher than I would. Even think about.
So, all right, so mine definitely, definitely acts of service, and I'm gonna go for receiving of gifts.
Okay. Yeah.
And I remember you saying to me early in our marriage, I think it was your birthday early on. Again, this is how the person likes to be loved.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, and I got you a card and I got you a gift, and you said something to me like, "It's the same day every year."
You've never missed my birthday.
No, I didn't miss it.
Yeah, okay.
You were saying it's the same day every year.
Yeah.
So for you to have not thought ahead about something on your birthday.
Really?
Yeah. So I'd given you a gift, I'd given you a card, but there was something I hadn't thought ahead on. And I remember you saying to me, it's the same day every year. You could have just put a little bit more thought in. I remember this early.
I'm surprised that you're even saying this to me because one thing I can say about you is every birthday, every Christmas.
I remember it early. So
wow.
Then I remember then going to myself, you have 12 months in between each.
Right. I'm really blown away
great.
now.
Your person,
I don't remember any of this.
Your person, if you're listening,
yeah,
will say things to you throughout that 12-month period.
Right.
And you can hone in and get the gift that they want.
Yeah.
And the gift doesn't have to be something lavish, you know?
No.
The person could have just said to you, I really would love a day in the park with some picnic blankets, some lovely little food, a lovely bottle of wine, and I'd love to do it in this way. And they just dropped it because we were watching a film or something. You said, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I lock that stuff.
But I think you do that. If anything, I don't remember this scenario that you're bringing up here at all. But one thing I would say is I'm very simple. So mine, in terms of gift giving, mine could be as long as I've got a card that has meaningful words in it, or
it's not just
meaningful.
A card.
No.
And
as long as I've got a cake.
Yes.
I need a cake.
A balloon.
And a balloon.
You've got to have a balloon.
Cake,
or balloon. Card and
balloons.
balloons.
That is it. That's me. Those are my staple.
Yeah.
Because I always feel that when it's somebody else's birthday, like when it's your birthday or when it's Heaven's birthday, it's you said this to me actually as well. It's I'm loving you how I want to be loved. Yeah. So I love the card with the pictures on it because I know the time has been taken out to get the pictures on the card.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love the balloons because I think birthday. We all love birthdays. Yeah. Especially that we're 1 month after each other. I'm June. Heaven's July, you're August.
Yeah.
And I love the thought of a birthday cake. It's got to be special. Why not?
So again, this is how you want to be loved.
Yes. And then I will be loving you all with that love.
And you're loving us with the love that you want to be loved. And sometimes I'm like, that's not what I want on my birthday. I don't need balloons. The card, I do love the card.
You do love the card.
I do love the card.
Yeah.
But we've got a load of drawers of cards from over the years, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
But what I like on my birthday is some simplicity.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're both like simplicity, but in different ways.
I like simplicity.
Yeah.
So you know the things that I don't like. I don't want chaos. I don't want anyone eating into my birthday time. I'm not trying to be outside the club. People's calling me the guest list. I've had all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
What I like is my music.
Yeah.
Really great food. Lovely phone calls from the people that I love and care for.
Yeah.
A select group of people.
Yeah.
I love my home.
You do love your home.
I love my garden.
Whereas I love to be out.
You love to be out.
I do love home, but I do love out.
But my birthday's in August, so normally we're blessed with some good weather.
Yeah.
But this is all coming back to the point of how do you want to be loved? Not how do I think you want to be loved.
Yeah.
How does she want to be loved? So I
I remember the birthday. Do you remember the birthday you said, I kept saying to you, Dre, what are we doing for your birthday? What are we doing? And you were like, I just want you for my birthday. And I was like,
that was 2 years
ago. Don't you want anyone?
Nope.
Don't you want anyone to come down? Don't you want to go here? Don't you want to do it? And you're like, no, I just want you and you, the barbecue, because you love a barbecue, and just us.
And it worked because
it was amazing.
Princess Evan was in another country. She was with her nanny in Australia.
Yes,
she'd gone there for
nanny is that's her term. She calls my mum nanny, so not nanny as in carer.
No, your mum nanny, because she was in Australia for your sister's wedding, her auntie's wedding, and she had gone 2 weeks ahead of us.
Yeah,
so on my birthday, you were like, "What do I want?" And I said, "I just want you in the garden, music." So I think the point is those love languages are really important, and it helped us in our marriage, and it has helped us guide us.
Yeah, so we don't always get it right.
I was going to say
you don't, and that's being honest, because where I said mine, for example, is quality time.
Yeah, I
need your time. I realise, and I've realised that even as we're progressing. I don't like to use the word older, but as we are progressing in our marriage and the years are going on, I've found that, your time means a lot to me, because I find when I'm away or working away with the kind of work that I do in the creative field, I spend a lot of time on my own, and I do love that security of being around my family, but I also know that I'm there to do my job. And then I find physical touch. It doesn't have to be the obvious, but it's the connection.
Because when you spend time away, you come home to me and you're like, do you know what? I just want to feel your skin.
Yeah, and that is like, sometimes I'll be lying in the bed for hours if I've come off stage, and I don't know how else to bring myself to calm down, like to be like, oh, okay, like I've been buzzing, I've been performing, I'm on a high, and then the adrenaline is going, and then I get home and I just want that peace, that sanctuary, but I just need that connection. And we've even found recently, when I'm struggling to sleep, you just have to put your hand on me,
and you'll just
and then
go
I'm out.
Off. And same with Heaven. Heaven put a hand on you, and you'll just go off, right? And then but that's when I feel the most peaceful, the most relaxed. Yes.
And that's where I really realise that love language, that really is me. Yeah.
So it wouldn't work necessarily if you come home. And I try and love you with my idea of a love language, which could be acts of service.
Yeah, when you're doing all the things.
I'm doing everything. I'm trying to get this for you.
And I'll be like, Trey, I just want you to sit with me. Yeah.
And I'm like, but I just cooked all this beautiful food.
Yeah, but I'm like,
I made sure that everything was right. And you're like, I just wanted you here.
Yeah, with me.
And then on the other side, if you want to give me quality time, I love that.
Yeah.
But one of mine, physical touch, but one of mine is acts of service.
Yeah.
And one of mine is, what's the other one? Acts of service for me and
receiving of gifts.
Receiving of gifts.
But it's weird because if I want to give you gifts, you don't necessarily want them, so it does have to be a surprise for you.
Yeah. And receiving of gifts is not the present itself. Do you understand? It's you're coming home from being away for a few days, working, Andre. We were just in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And I picked up your dessert that you love.
The excitement,
That's me.
Yeah.
Or
that is you.
You know, or
you're savvy, but you love a white wine.
Yeah, or God, yeah. A nice savvy bee. Or just acts of service is just I thought about this day and I thought, in the afternoon you might want some time. So I'm gonna take heaven. We're gonna go see my mum.
Yeah. Yes.
And we might stay overnight at mum's.
Yeah.
And you can chill.
And you're
with that.
happy.
And I'm in the house like
You're like, I can watch whatever I want to watch. I
can sit in my boxers.
Well, you can sit in your boxers when we're there.
I know, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will call one of my.
I've thought ahead.
I will call
of
one of my people, another brother
then
who's
this
married, and we'll
birthday,
be like, "This is great." Yeah.
The birthday just gone. You stepped out of your comfort zone.
I did. Yeah.
Because I was like, isn't it? So did I actually. We both did it in the same year of being surrounded by the people that we know and love and that love us too. And I mean that in the most nicest possible way. But it was nice to create that space and have that space with individuals and feel what that was like rather than kind of shying away or being like, do you know what? I'm just going to stay over here in the corner and enjoy my time here, to include others in that space. It was the most, I found it so uplifting, and so did you.
Yeah. Well, you were
it was a birthday that I will remember.
Yeah, you were very clear about what you wanted, and it was lovely. You had a ladies' night.
Yeah, with that, again, going back to the question again, it's because I'd started to organise my birthday plans in 2025, and I was saying to you, I'm going to do this, and you were like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what, and that? Oh, no, really? And then I said to you, do you know what, babe? I'm actually trying to tailor my plans to work for you.
Yes.
But that isn't what I want.
No.
So you're not coming.
And you didn't say it as harsh
No,
like that.
I
God.
didn't.
But again, it's how the person wants to be loved.
Yes.
This is the takeaway.
It wasn't as harsh.
No, you weren't
as
like,
that,
you're not
but
coming. But
no, I just said, you know what, I'm going to have a girls' night because
that's it.
And you, in loving me, were like, that is what she wants. That's where she'll be happy. Not she doesn't want me around.
No.
But that's how she's going to be happy because you realise as well, I don't want to do all those things that she wants to do because that's not really for me.
No.
But for her to have a good time, you run with it.
But I remember seeing the joy that you had.
Oh, I was elated.
And
all the
do
fun
you remember
in the
where
world.
you went?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
To Sheesh.
You went to Sheesh?
Yeah, in London.
And
it just all aligned. Kelly LaRock was performing with the band and she
you
did
had, I don't know, how many women on your,
I had 10 women.
10 women.
Yeah. And including my mum, my auntie, my cousin, some dear friends.
Yeah.
And we had, we were talking about that night over and over and over and over again because it was special, but a decision was made and then we ran with it. And then things just, I met with family and friends before, we met for drinks and then we went down there and we had food. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you want to be loved? Not how do I want to love you?
Yeah.
When did you know it was love? That's my question for you. When did you know it was love? So for the time, that there must have been a moment or moments that you thought actually something different is happening here. So that's my question to you, Wendy. When did you know it was love?
Wow, that's taking me all the way back because that's like when I knew I loved you from when we were together as young as we were.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't know, I remember I couldn't stop thinking about you. And that would start from in the morning, getting ready for college, because that's when it was.
Yeah.
Getting ready for college, coming into college, but just going to bed at night and just being like, oh my God, I want to speak to him tonight. And at those times you were recording in the studio.
And we were doing late nights.
Yeah, I didn't have a mobile, so it would be from when you would sometimes call from the record company and I'd just be like, oh my God, his voice, or we'd speak on the phone. And at those times, because you're not really as much of a phone lover, but it was that typical thing of when you're younger and you can spend hours and hours on the phone. So it'd either be you'd call me from the studio and be like, I'm on my way home, and then you'd get home and then you'd call. I think I remember your actual telephone number because it used to come up on my phone. Don't worry, I won't say it.
I know yours off
do
by
you?
heart. Yeah,
do you?
Your mum's number, yeah.
See, then I do know yours. I know it inside out.
And were we working with 0181 at the time?
Yeah,
We were
I think
working
so.
with 0181,
Yeah.
0171.
Yeah.
Old school.
Oh my God, proper old school.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used to really look forward to your phone conversations. I used to love hearing your voice. And I think it was my dad that, was the first one to say, hold on a minute, I can tell you love this boy, don't you? And I was like, do I? But then I knew I did. You made me feel very happy, very special, but it was something I'd never felt before. And I wanted to do things for you. It was like I wanted to, whether it was like sounds so silly now, but like buying your favourite drink from the shop, or do you want this? Or, it was the canteen at school. I'll get it for you. And you'd be like, no, I'll get it. But it was the act of, I want to get it for you. Wanting to buy you nice things, messages. I just knew, I knew. And you made me feel very emotional. And I felt, I love this guy. I love him. Yeah. I championed you for, you know, once it, even with your music, I was like, oh, you know, play it. I just loved everything about you, that you did, everything you stood for. Yeah, I would tell the world about you. It was like that. That's how I felt.
Did it happen pretty swiftly?
No, it scared me.
Yeah.
Because it was so intense.
So intense, yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking, oh my God. Especially growing up, I'd always looked at my mum and dad. They were married for 33 years. And I always had this staple thing in my mind that I want that kind of love. I want that togetherness, and I do want to be married. Look at you smiling.
No, I'm going to tell you why I'm smiling. Keep going.
I loved it. You still are, but I'm just talking about there. You were just so thoughtful. You were very different, very in tune with your emotions, and yeah, I just loved being with you. Loved talking to you. You made me happy.
And I smiled there when you spoke about your parents, because what you saw in the home, consciously and unconsciously, you knew that was the direction you were going into.
Yes.
So So that meant there were things you were not going to accept.
No.
And there were people you were not going to accept.
No.
It had to be right.
Yeah. You were bougie from young, though.
So
you were very bougie. No, you were bougie from young, meaning you had a standard.
Oh yeah, I prefer that word.
Yeah, but there's still. But I liked you being bougie because there were things you did things a certain way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, you weren't. It wasn't like bottom of the barrel. It was always had a class and an etiquette, which is what I'd seen. If you're talking about emulating what I'd had at home, that's what I was seeing, and I was thinking,
absolutely.
These values, like I haven't seen this type of
in boys around your age, or around our generation. You'd seen it with your dad and your mum, but not in
not like that. I hadn't.
So for me, being raised with my mum, I think that standard.
I can't stop smiling.
I think that standard was me knowing from young how women or a woman should be loved and should be looked after.
Okay.
They should be treated. And I think that's probably what my mum gave me.
Yeah.
So by the time that we met, how did I know that I loved you? There's a couple of things that came to mind. One was my driving lessons. My driving lessons, completing my BTEC at college, the band.
Yeah.
These were all areas where you championed me. You wanted the best for me.
Oh my God.
So yeah, for sure. So my driving test, and I've said this a few times, I passed on my 4th time. That's no reflection of how I drive now. But I passed on my 4th time. Every time I failed, you were the first person I'd call, and you'd go, "It's okay, baby. You get the next one." I'd be like, "Oh man," but do you know what I mean? Because I already had in my mind I'd be driving that night. Then I would go back. I'd be at college. The driving instructor would come pick me up, take me out for my whole lunch break.
Wow.
It took me 4 times. I remember the last time I called you and I said, "I didn't do it." And again, you said to me, "It's okay, baby. You'll get it." I said, "I lied. I've passed." So I remember completing my BTEC at the Brits College. You know, damage was really picking up. Yeah,
you had a lot to juggle.
I had a lot to juggle. Yeah. And I remember you coming in and saying, "I'm going to help you with this coursework. I'm going to help you get through it."
You've just unlocked a whole new memory that I'd forgotten about yet. Right? Okay.
And then the third one was any time the band were doing something, we said this before, as a woman, you never came in to cause division.
No.
You only came in you were so loyal to me as my girlfriend that you would come in and everyone knew the boundaries. It was clear, but you were also loving, caring towards them, respectful towards the record label execs. Like, all of that stuff was so important.
Yeah.
I knew, like, what I'm feeling for this woman is something I've never felt before. I don't want anyone else near her. I don't want nobody else near her. I knew that I loved you at that moment because I didn't want anyone else near you. That's when I started saying to myself, for sure, this is me and her. And it was the phone calls because there was no mobile. So it was the phone calls for hours.
Yeah.
It's the way that you carried yourself. You know, people who watch this, who went to college with us, will know there's something so important about how you carry yourself as a woman, so that when the time comes that you connect with that man, and nobody's past is perfect, but you've carried yourself in a way that is attractive to the other person, and you're not having to wade through masses of mess.
Yeah.
When I came to you, when you came to me, there was no masses of mess. It was pure. And those are the things that let me know, I love this. I love this woman. It's, you know, it's your heart. It was the kiss. It was the embrace.
The kiss. Do you remember the first time?
Yo.
I said you had pillow lips.
Pillow lips.
So beautiful and soft and succulent.
I went home, and that's just playing on your mind.
I know.
And then you're just in this kind of whirlwind. And then after that, nothing else really matters.
No.
So that's when I knew that I loved you. And we've spoken before about how we ended after that first period. Because obviously we dated for
18 months.
And then ended, and we were apart.
Because we chose.
We were apart for how many years was it? 6 years apart?
8.
8 years apart. But when we ended on our own terms. But it was very painful.
Yeah.
That again.
Because we saw that we both had to grow.
If there was any chance.
Yeah, for it to ever.
We couldn't be together at that point.
No.
And that was a really mature decision.
Yeah.
But we loved each other so deeply. That pain. Do you remember sitting on the floor?
I do.
In your bedroom?
I've got tears in my eyes now because it's an old memory, but it's still happy. Do you see what I mean? But it's just the emotion is.
It's sitting on the floor in your bedroom, both in tears that we were breaking up to give ourselves a chance.
I think we took pictures on the little disposable cameras.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. At the end, because it was like definitely saying goodbye, and we didn't want to say goodbye, but we did.
And then, you know, I moved into what I know was a defense to keep my heart safe, where any time my closest guys, which were the band, would mention your name, I go, no, it's done, man. Don't talk to me about that. That's done. That's done.
And I used to turn on the TV every time you'd be on performing. I must admit, maybe for about the first year.
Yeah.
I'd cry, I'd be upset, and then you would make it harder because when you released your first album, you did a massive tribute to me in the album.
I did,
and you said the girl I love, the first. I was like, oh my goodness! And then my friends would be like, have you seen the album? Have you seen the album? Because it would have the credits on the inside.
Yeah.
And there was my name emblazoned. Yeah. And then you would do interviews, the magazine. You'd be like, I've only ever been in love once.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this guy? But you never. Do you know? Throughout that whole period of time. You never missed a birthday. This is what I was saying. No, you never missed a birthday, and you never missed Christmas. No. And even when we were in different spaces and we dated other people respectfully, we'd still have the respect, but you'd still call.
Oh, definitely.
And you'd still check in.
Yeah, and
all the time, no matter where you were in the world.
It's so important that you said that because when we separated, we did date other people.
Yeah, we did.
And just respect to those people who are now, you know, husbands, wives, or single, or just we're all adults now.
Yeah, of course.
But I think even some of those people, if they reflect now, they'll probably say they didn't really have our hearts. Our hearts were with each other.
Yeah.
And now people, when they see us together, it makes sense that you guys came back together. It makes sense.
We've even seen people from the Brit School that are like, you two were destined to be together.
Yeah.
We've got friends that even when we broke up, they'll be like, okay, you guys are going to be together. Do you remember all the time? They'll be like, okay, whatever this phase is, whatever.
You'll come back.
You're going to be together.
I'm so thankful, so grateful. Give God all the glory that
100%.
We were able to be. We were able to be mature enough.
Yeah.
And in that space with our emotions, our feelings, our faith.
Yeah.
Because, and we'll talk about this another time, we knew when we came back together after 8 years, there was no messing about.
No.
This was it.
Yeah, and I think when we did come back together, I'm going to speed ahead again now on something else that from all the achievements that we'd had coming up to that point, because obviously yours had been very visible for those to see and in the magazines, on the radio, playing all of that side. And my stuff was happening in different ways where I was achieving in different areas and doing my thing. But I wanted to go to this point that we, even as friends and then lovers and then husband and wife, one of the most consistent things has always been that we've championed each other.
Absolutely.
And we've celebrated each other's successes.
Yes.
We've encouraged others to ourselves to go into different domains.
Yes.
And celebrated the wins from those domains.
Yes.
And by that, I mean, when you truly love someone, you see their potential. And I think it's a great thing to not only see their potential, but to encourage their potential and cheer for them when they win.
See, this is amazing, because
I don't know if you...
No, it's perfect, because you're asking, how do you know? How did I know when I loved you?
Yeah.
How did you know when you loved me? But then also about how we support each other.
Yeah.
And there's no envy in our marriage.
No.
Right?
No.
So
there isn't.
Because we're both in creative spaces, and then I'm in another business which still is quite, front facing with a lot of people in the public.
Yeah.
See, when you're away for weeks touring, I'm never at home questioning what my wife is doing.
Me neither.
I champion you in those spaces. Of course, there's some men that get around my wife and they're like, boom. I know, and I love that.
And I say the same with women.
And
I see
that.
it. Because you talk the talk they want to hear.
And you are the beauty that the man then want, but you can't get. So, right.
Andre Harriet.
But the point is that there's no envy.
No.
An opportunity comes in for you, and we go, how do we make it work?
Yeah.
We don't start with,
no.
Can this work? But
no.
if you go away, what's
one
heaven going to do?
One of the most poignant things when we decided, because we had a plan for our marriage. We said we would get married. Yeah. We said we would celebrate and do all the fun things that we wanted to do for 5 years.
Yeah.
We haven't even gone on to talk about that we actually did music together.
That's
I
coming.
know that's fine.
Yeah.
But we did that for 5 years. Then we said on the 6th year, we'll try for a baby. On the 7th year, we'd celebrate our family. And that was a massive thing for us to have that plan.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how it went.
Yeah, but to just interject here, and this again may come up later, I just thought once we decided we're going to get pregnant, we're going to have a baby, it took a whole year. Do you remember?
Yeah.
It took us a whole year to get pregnant. But
there were reasons.
There were reasons, but we're coming back to this point of the way you love each other.
Yeah.
And the way you support each other.
Yes.
And when opportunities come, you used to work in the space of education.
Yeah.
Well, you did music.
Yeah.
And then you went into really
that was because I was trying to run away from music.
Of course.
Yeah. I loved it, but sometimes the irregularity of it.
Yeah.
Became quite disheartening, and then I was like, how can I put my skills to use in another way?
And you got into education.
I got into education, teaching assistant, working with children, and then I loved working with children with in the special needs background, but in mainstream settings.
And you brought music into the role.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It would never leave me because it's part of my gifting, it's part of my calling.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean, it's part of my gifting, part of my calling. It's part of my purpose.
Yeah.
It's something that I can't run away or escape from. It brings a lot of joy.
You built choirs in schools with children.
Because it came down to the fundamental side of wanting to see children be confident, wanting to see them be everything that they could potentially be.
Yeah.
And then I was given the children at the time, some of the children that weren't particularly, some of the teachers found them difficult in classes.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, that's just their attention being misdirected.
Yeah.
Let's just get their creative side flowing and you'll see that their behaviour reduces because they've found something that stimulates them and that they enjoy. And then now when they're in the class setting, they can enjoy it more and become students that teachers enjoy teaching. And, even up to last year, I remember I came home to you and I was in a shop and I never forget, this is going a tiny bit off piste here, but one of the children that I taught from year 3.
Yeah, a woman. She's now a woman.
She's now a woman.
Yeah.
And I heard the voice say, Mrs. Harriet. Yeah. And I thought, who?
Special.
Well, who's calling me that? I turned around and as soon as I looked in this girl's face, who's now like 23, she must be, it's like my mind took me all the way back to her in year 3. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, I remember you.
Yeah.
Do you remember me? Said her name. She was like, you were my best teacher, all of that. And you taught us this and my confidence grew because of you. And now I'm doing this one. And you just think, oh my goodness, after all these years.
Yeah.
But those were the things I wanted to see in children. But I'm going again, I'm going to say this. When we decided to try for our baby, you said, even though I love the music, even though it has brought me much success in my career and what I've done, I still need more. And if I'm going to be here and we're going to be trying for a baby, I need to do something with my career
Head down.
that is that is solid.
Yeah.
Because we know how the industry can be.
That was the head
fickle.
down period.
Head down, and
we'll
you
come
said,
to
Wendy,
that. Yeah.
I'm going to go and get a degree.
Yeah, I was working at the time.
You were, but I'm still saying
Yeah.
you made a choice.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
I was in the youth justice space at the time, but
Yeah.
I went and did my undergrad.
Yeah.
But again, the point about not being envious
No.
is when I said I'm going to do my undergrad,
Yeah.
you said, baby, go and do that.
Yeah, but I was also in awe of, wow,
Yeah.
because music, at the time, you just think music, that's how it's going to be. But you made a choice to be like, I want to go and...
There's some huge humility that
Yeah.
had to come with that.
Yeah.
And
But you did it for your
humble
family. You
yourself
wanted...
before God, and you'll be absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
very
But I
true.
remember also in education, an opportunity came across the table for you.
Yeah,
And somebody called you and said, I need you to go on tour
I remember.
for a quite a long period.
Mm.
Now, as a husband, the way that I love you, the first thing we said is, how do we make it work?
I actually turned the job down. I remember the
And-
phone call and I said, oh, no, sorry, I'm
I'm not
unavailable
I
to do
can't-
that. There's no way I'm going to be able to manage this job. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Put the phone down. And you were like, who is that? And I said, and then you were like, call them back.
Call them back.
Well, we're going to make
And
this
you were
work
like,
for
"I've
you. And
just
I was
had a
like,
baby, how am I going to, I can't leave her for this amount of time.
yeah,
You see, when you're talking about marriage,
yeah,
support that person and their vision.
yeah,
Don't have envy.
no,
If something comes across the table,
yeah,
ask yourself, how do we make this work?
Mm.
Because your person will be better when they come back home to you
yeah.
after experiencing what they're
Because so
supposed
much
to
growth
do.
happens when you take certain
100
opportunities,
yeah.
you grow, you develop,
Yeah,
and it doesn't always have to be in the most normal way.
no, and I
Yeah.
love that. I love that for us. And
Yeah, we've always
it
been...
doesn't mean we get it perfect
No,
all the time,
no.
right? Because there's stuff that comes with it. But
Yeah.
when somebody calls you for an opportunity, or me, we have always in our marriage said, how do we make it work?
Yeah.
Not, that can't work, because it's always, how do we make it work? And I've
Yeah.
said to you, if somebody called you now and said, come to China, what's happened? You were called to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I was 3 days, and we managed to work you into the agreement, and you flew with
For
me.
you to go to Hong Kong
Yeah.
and perform at a corporate event for 3 days,
Yeah.
you said, can my husband come? But when it came to you, we didn't go, this can't work.
No,
The first thing is, how do we make it work?
Yeah.
Because that's part of your purpose.
and yours.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
mine. So yeah, I think
It makes us stronger together, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, and again, goes back to it is important to have your own identity as well as being one.
yeah,
Just never, that's one thing that I'll always say to anyone, really.
yeah,
Celebrate that you can be individual, celebrate your
Yes.
unity,
yes.
and you can have both.
And your person will come back to you in a better way
Yeah.
if they get to go and live in their purpose,
Yeah.
and then come back to the unit. When you stifle your person,
Yeah,
you prevent them from going
and growing.
and going and growing.
Yeah,
So let your person go. Be
Yeah.
confident and comfortable in the love that you've built.
but it's
fly.
but it
Go
goes
fly.
again back to the foundations that you lay. If you lay that right, if you love your partner correctly, if you love them in the way that they want to be loved, and not just the way that you want to love them, there's a happy space,
Yeah, yeah,
a happy
yeah.
medium.
And you have to work at it, baby.
Yeah, but first
Yeah.
and foremost for us, that has definitely worked because we have always, and I must end with this, that we have always placed God in the centre. That's worked for us.
No question.
Yeah, so.
I think we're done.